people who dress as opposite sex. It probably was very rare. So, had Crimpin traveled like third class, he probably would have avoided being spotted by the ship's captain. But that's not the case. Chief Inspector Walter Dew, he boarded a faster White Star liner, and that ship arrived in Quebec, Canada, ahead of Crimpin, and he contacted the Canadian authorities. So, as the Montrose ship entered St. Lawrence River, Dew came aboard disguised as a pilot. Crimpin and Ethel were arrested on board the Montrose on July 30th, 1910, and Crimpin was returned to England on board another ship. Now, throughout the proceedings and at the sentencing, Crimpin showed no remorse for his wife or concern for her being missing, dead, whatnot. He only was concerned with his lover's reputation, and just after 27 minutes of deliberations, the jury found Crimpin guilty of murder. He was hanged at 9 a.m. on November 23rd, 1910, and at his request, a photo of Ethel was to be placed in his coffin with him. Now, while the house that Crimpin lived in, as well as the houses on each side of that house, they have been demolished and new houses have been built on those properties, it has been reported that on the anniversary of the death or the murder of his wife and of the hanging that he was sentenced to, that his apparition has been seen roaming outside carrying a package under his arm and vanishing into the night. Crimpin's ghost has also been spotted walking along a nearby pond, and many speculate that the package that he's carrying is maybe the limbs or the dead remains that he was getting rid of. Well, that we will never know, though, as they never found any of the parts. Here we shall now travel to the Hotel del Coronado in San Diego. And it is quite a beautiful hotel, and some say the most haunted. The ghost story that has long been attached to this hotel, it involves a young woman named Kate Morgan who checked in the hotel on Thanksgiving Day in 1892. However, she never checked out. When the Hotel del Coronado opened in 1888, it was the largest resort hotel in the world, and the popularity of the hotel was established before the 1920s. It had already hosted Presidents Harrison, McKinney, Taft, and Wilson, and that hotel went on to host nearly every president since, down to Barack Obama. Now, by the 1920s, Hollywood stars and starlets discovered that the Del was the in place to stay. And even Marilyn Monroe stayed there. The hotel's hauntings include ghosts of a little boy and a girl, a former hotel caretaker who is seen in the dining room, and a Victorian woman who's been seen dancing in the ballroom. But, of course, there are none more famous than the ghost of Kate Morgan. As mentioned, Kate checked into the hotel on Thanksgiving Day in 1892, and she never left. Hotel guests and employees believe that most of the paranormal events that occur in this hotel can be connected to Kate. Witnesses report flickering lights, televisions that turn on and off by themselves, dramatic shifts in room temperature, odd scents and smells of perfumes, unexplained voices, the sound of strange footsteps, mysterious breezes which cause all the curtains to move when all the windows are actually closed, reports of objects moving on their own, and some claim to have seen the ghost of Kate Morgan herself. So, as you can imagine, everything goes on at this hotel. Kate Morgan, she was in her mid-20s. She checked into the Hotel del Coronado alone on Thursday, November 24th, 1892, Thanksgiving evening. And during her stay, hotel employees, many of whom had frequent interactions with Kate, reported that she appeared ill and very unhappy. She also had told quite a few employees that she was waiting for her brother, who she said was a doctor also, and that she was waiting for him to join her. But he never showed up. 5 days after she checked in, Kate was found dead on an exterior staircase leading to the beach. She had a gunshot wound to her head, which the San Diego County coroner later determined was self-inflicted. Since that time, paranormal activity has been reported in the room that Kate stayed in during her 1892 visit, which was room 3327. So, if you want to experience that, go have a night there and stay in room 3327. She's also been spotted in other areas of the hotel as well. So, yeah, so supposedly everything goes on here. Next, we're going to go to Johnson Road in Wilkinsburg, Pennsylvania. Again, November 23rd, 1977, Thanksgiving. A 6-year-old little girl named Beth Lynn Barr was abducted as she walked home from her second grade classroom, which was Johnson Elementary School in Wilkinsburg, Pennsylvania. I personally wouldn't have let my 6-year-old walk home alone, but people do it all the time. Now, although her killer was never found, her remains were found on Johnson Road adjacent to the Wrestling Memorial Cemetery. Since that time, Johnson Road has been reported to be haunted. There have been pictures taken of strange anomalies. The voice of a child can be heard at times, and strange, unexplained myths also appear. So I guess she's still roaming around. Next, we're going to go to New Orleans and the murder of Soulja Slim. James Taps was a New Orleans-based rapper who performed under the name Soulja Slim. Soulja Slim achieved his greatest success when he collaborated with fellow rapper Juvenile to record the single Slow Motion, and that song became a #1 Billboard hit in 2004. Unfortunately for Slim, he was murdered 6 months before its release. Now, on November 26, 2003, the night before Thanksgiving, Slim had arrived at his mother's house, and this is where he was shot 4 times on the front lawn. A month later, police arrested a suspect named Gerald Smith, who had allegedly been paid $10,000 for the hit on Soulja Slim. However, they couldn't find a witness who would testify against Smith, so the murder charges were dropped. Now, over the years, this fella named Smith, he was implicated in 2 more murders, but he couldn't be prosecuted since no one would ever testify against him. So this guy was literally getting away with murder. In August 2011, however, Smith himself was shot to death. So I guess he got a little bit of what he deserved, right? There have been documented EVP session videos that I have personally watched with communications with Soulja Slim. It's also been reported that his ghost has been seen outside the home that he bought for his mother on LaFay Street, and that's where he was shot and killed. I have seen the EVP sessions, and it seems like it was legitimately him talking about other rappers and who inspired him and who was his favorite rapper. It was quite amazing. Now, the next case is in Texas. On November 28th, 1985, Joe Blount was spending Thanksgiving with his family at their trailer in Lake Worth, Texas, when his 15-year-old daughter, Angela, found a briefcase on the front porch. When she opened it, a bomb went off, killing Joe, Angela, and her 18-year-old cousin, Michael. In 1999, a man named Michael Toney was sentenced to death for the murders. The prime evidence, though, against Toney was the inconsistent testimony of his ex-wife and former best friend, who she claimed she saw him planting the bomb. Now, Toney's conviction was overturned once it was discovered that the prosecution withheld evidence which cast doubt on his guilt. Toney was then released from death row in September of 2009, but, however, he died in a truck crash only a month later. The bombing of the Blount family is obviously unsolved again. There have been reports of strange noises and lights in the area of the property. There have also been reports of a ghost of a girl seen in the area, with speculations that it could indeed be the ghost of Angela herself. And it's crazy that all of these tragedies happen around these holidays. And some of them never get solved. And some of the people who are accused, not accused, like innocent people get accused, guilty people get set free. It is crazy. Thanksgiving should be about happy memories with friends and family. But you see, there's case after case after case that I have just talked about where it's not so happy, where tragic things happen to people. For an example, this next one will be in New York when we come back from this short break. You are listening to Ghost Talk Radio on WBHM Digital Broadcasting.